Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.
Saa mi swali yangu ni kuhusu addiction. Kuna venye asubuhi kama umezoea kuchukua vitu zingine kama kahawa hivi. Swali yangu ni ya kwanza, venye msanii anaweza overcome hizo addiction, especially kama umezoea kunywa vitu kama kahawa, vitu kama majani hivi. Sasa venye unaweza amka asubuhi na mwana kichwa na unataka kuacha. So najua si ugonjwa, ni condition. So venye unaweza saidia mtu.
He's talking about addiction. From his question that we've just seen, he talks about coffee and tea, but I get the feeling he's asking about a lot of other things as well. But addiction in general.
Yes.
He says there are people who wake up and if they haven't had a cup of tea within 10 minutes, then there's a splitting headache.
Yes.
Yeah, why? It's tea. It's you know, you wouldn't expect that with a non-alcoholic beverage.
Yes. Well, tea has a stimulant, and so does coffee.
It has or it is?
It has many things. There are many chemicals in tea and coffee, but like in coffee, the reason why when you take coffee you feel energized, you don't feel so sleepy is because one of the ingredients is a stimulant, caffeine. And in tea, there is an ingredient also which is a stimulant, not as strong as caffeine, but there is a stimulant in tea also. It's called theophylline. So these stimulants, if you take them too long, I mean over a very long period of time, your body kind of gets used to working with them in the body. So the moment you remove them, then your body goes down, because the normal level of functioning of the body is dependent on a little stimulant. So when you remove it, then your body complains a bit, and you have certain symptoms. You have your headaches, dizziness, irritability. You have somebody who is always feeling sleepy, constipation, and quite a number of other symptoms. So the main thing is the fact that your body is used to working with a certain chemical, and you remove the chemical, and now the body
is complaining. And there are also other addictions. There are many types of addictions, but there are other addictions, and there are some chemicals, some stimulants, some drugs, which cause something called physical addiction. And there are some which cause psychological addiction. Those are very different things. Physical addiction is an addiction which you find this kind of addiction in people who take certain hard drugs. If you withdraw that drug in somebody who is used to taking it and the body is used to it, then you can actually have a life-threatening situation. But there are some which cause more of a psychological addiction, whereby if you withdraw this person from the drug, it's not going to kill them. They'll feel uncomfortable, but it won't kill them. So those are two different It's just
things.
that they know this is something they usually have, but there's no physical dependence on it.
Yes. Like if you look at coffee, caffeine does a bit of both, but it's not that physical addiction which is dangerous, but it has a bit of both.
Of both.
Yeah.
Is it something that one should worry about, and you find that that's happening, you quickly pull yourself off coffee? It's fine to live with? No, by the time it's reaching those levels where you're getting this severe headache in the morning because you haven't taken your coffee, it means you're taking too much.
Also reduce.
Your body is telling you that there's something which you're doing wrong. Usually your body tells you many times, you don't even need to. If you just listen to your body tells you very many things. So by the time your body is telling you that you're getting those kind of symptoms, it's telling you that you're taking too much.
So
it means you
slow
need
down.
to reduce it a bit.
Okay.
Okay, there's the issue of prostate cancer, and it's something that many people don't understand, especially the laymen. Okay, I know it's genetical to some extent, but then cancer may also have its own causes. So I would like to get a clarification about the same. And then, among the youth, there's this myth that when you're sexually active in your young age, it means that towards the old age, there's a tendency of you falling prone to prostate cancer.
I thought this was very interesting.
Yeah.
Somebody links prostate cancer. Links prostate cancer to the sexual activity of the man in his youth. Some say it's if he's very inactive, then he's more prone. Then some say it's the other way around.
Yes.
Is there any truth to any of those?
There is some truth. Yeah. There is a link between sexual activity and the prostate health. And it's been shown that regular sexual activity reduces the chances of prostate cancer. That one is documented. Increased sexual activity reduces the chances of prostate cancer.
In old age?
Yes, because you see, prostate cancer comes in old age.
In old age.
Yeah, the age bracket for prostate cancer is in people who are, you're talking about from 50s and above, mostly. Yeah. So increased sexual activity, even when they were younger, reduces your risk of getting prostate cancer when you're older.
Yeah.
That is true.
That is, okay, yes. You can confirm that. Why? What would be the explanation?
Okay, it's been shown statistically to be the case. The specific explanations are, it's a bit vague. But if you look at the formation of semen, you have the prostate gland and you have things called the seminal vesicles. Now, in those two, there are certain substances which the body needs to produce as part of production of semen. And those things are concentrated in those two glands, in the prostate and in the seminal vesicle, and they are concentrated to very, very high levels, like about 600, 700 times the levels you find in blood.
Yeah.
Now, the thinking is some chemicals might be in the blood which are carcinogenic. By carcinogenic means they can cause cancer. Now, those chemicals are also highly concentrated there.
Yeah.
Now, somebody who is sexually active tends to drain the process time and again. So if there's any lingering cancer-causing agent, then chances of it being there for long enough to cause a problem are less. That is the general thinking. But statistically, there is that link.
So, and it is true, it is proven.
Yeah, it's been shown statistically.
Okay,
yes.
Interesting. Let's see what is next.
Okay, me have one question I wanted to ask about a friend of mine who usually faints. And then, yani kabla faint ajuangi, you're talking to him, mnaongea poa, then all of a sudden anaanguka. Afu anakuambia hakuwa anafeel kana anataka kuanguka, akiamka lakini akiamka hajijui, lakini kaka after 20 minutes ana recover, anaanza kukumbuka venye kulikuwa. na ameenda kwa hosi, sijui akaambiwa afanywe scan ya kichwa, akafanywa scan, haikupatikana anything, na ana fainting after 1 month hivi. So what could be the problem?
This one is a bit complicated. He talks of somebody who faints quite randomly, unexpectedly, about once a month.
Okay.
And he gets up, the person gets up and has no clue what happened in the first few minutes, and then 20 minutes later he remembers, oh, actually, I remember feeling a bit dizzy, then I passed out. Strange. Yeah.
It happens. Yeah. Yeah, it happens. And it's not really unusual what is happening to him. When somebody, we have to look at what fainting is. When somebody faints, something happens that makes a person faint. And the thing that triggers fainting is a reduced blood supply to the brain. So if you don't have enough blood supply to the brain, you don't have enough oxygen to the brain, you don't have enough sugar, glucose, because the brain requires a lot of sugar to function, sugar and oxygen. When that happens, you collapse and you faint. There are a number of things which can cause fainting. A common fainting is a common cause of fainting has nothing to do with whether you have any underlying illness. It's a fainting which comes when somebody is scared.
Or heat. I know some people faint when they are
Yes, some people will faint
for a long time.
Some people can faint when they are under heat. That is true. This particular one is usually if you get scared, if you get startled, some people would faint at the sight of blood. It has nothing to do with whether they are sick or not. There are also other causes of fainting which have to do with maybe somebody having an underlying illness. Like if somebody has a heart issue, maybe the heart is not pumping well enough, and sometimes maybe there's a problem with the heart rhythm. If this person has issues to do with not enough oxygen in the blood, maybe the person is anemic or the person has a lung issue. These things can actually predispose to fainting. Some people have fainting issues which have to do with how the body regulates blood pressure. And these people, what happens is if you stand up too quickly from a seated position, you feel dizzy. It's relatively normal to feel a bit dizzy sometimes once in a while, but in some people, they actually faint. Now when you faint, at that point of fainting, there's a reduced blood supply to the brain. There's a reduced, because of that, as you've said, there's reduced oxygen, reduced glucose. That affects functioning of certain parts of the brain, including memory areas.
Okay.
So that's why the person would have a transient
memory
loss of memory, and usually it's a loss of memory immediately preceding the fainting spell. But then after a while they remember.
Then it comes back.
But a number of people will faint and not have that
memory ever.
Some people will faint and they don't have it, but some people would faint and they get a bit confused, dizzy, but after a while they remember. That's a transient loss of memory which comes with the fainting. So the issue is not even a memory issue. The issue is if somebody is fainting regularly, is it a problem? Because I think that's a bigger issue.
That's a bigger problem.
Yeah, if it's just the usual, and I mean just the usual fainting, which happens once in a while, there's really nothing wrong, then maybe there's really nothing wrong there. But if somebody is fainting regularly and is not explained, then that needs to be evaluated, because as I've said, fainting is usually, many times is a symptom of an underlying issue else, which has to be checked out.
Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle.